What's up guys, Uncasual Gamer here, and whether you're buying an Xbox 360 in 2025 for the first time, or you're revisiting a console that you used to play 20 years ago when it first came out, today I'm going to be talking through 10 essential games that you need to pick up for the Xbox 360. Now there are over 1,000 games in the Xbox 360, and most of them games, or a lot of them games, are really amazing games. In my opinion, it is the best console that's ever been made. And in most people's opinion, it is the best Xbox console ever made. A generation of gaming that was really, really successful. And in this video, I'm not going to be talking about hidden gems or titles you might not have heard of. These are all going to be big AAA games, but they're going to be the essentials, basically, the basics that you need to have if you're picking up an Xbox 360 in 2025. So let's get straight into it. So at number one, where else to start but with a Halo game? Now, I could have picked from a few different Halo games on the Xbox 360. A few really good games, by the way. You've obviously got Halo 3 ODST, Halo 3 as it is here. Halo 4, we had Halo Reach, which in a lot of people's opinion is one of the better Halos. I had to go with Halo 3 just because I think, in my opinion, it's my favourite game ever for a start, and this is the game that, in my opinion, took the Xbox 360 to the height that it achieved. And as well as having one of the best stories and tying up that original trilogy, brilliant campaign on this game, it also kick-started Xbox Live. It kind of fell at that perfect time where online gameplay was first becoming a thing, especially on consoles at least, and Xbox Live had launched. Halo 3 was the perfect companion to go with that. Most people will have really fond memories if you were old enough back in 2007, 2008, 2009 playing Halo 3 online. It was just such an important part in not just the history of Xbox, but this game was a really important part in the history of console gaming. And if you're picking up an Xbox 360 in 2025, this for me has got to be the first game on the list. This is the most essential game to have in your collection. Now, obviously, Halo is Xbox's biggest franchise, it's their biggest brand, and the first one is moving to PlayStation very shortly. But back when the Xbox 360 was around, these were obviously console exclusive. You couldn't play these anywhere else. They were just available on the Xbox. One thing to note with this game is that the servers are no longer available, unfortunately. You obviously can get the Master Chief Collection on the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X, which does include this game and all of the other Halo games that Bungie released, right through to, I think, even Halo 4, which was the first game made by 343. So yeah, this is the number one game to get. Let's move on to game number two. Now at number two, moving away from shooters, we have got Forza Horizon. Now a lot of people talk about the three pillars of Xbox, and that's their three main franchises. And that's Halo is the first one, obviously, and the second one is Forza. Now Forza Motorsport has been a game since the OG Xbox, which was always, I guess, to compete with Gran Turismo on the PlayStation, on-track racing action. But they changed it with Forza Horizon, and they went down an open world or an open road route where basically it's a massive open world and it's more of a story mode where obviously you buy cars, a bit like the test drive games if you've ever played them. For me, these are much more chill, much more enjoyable than the Forza Motorsport. Forza Motorsport are a little bit more serious, a little bit more simulation, whereas these are much more arcadey. Brilliant game. The graphics on these are all really good. I think that there actually are 3 on the Xbox 360. I might be wrong, it might be 2. There's definitely 5 Forza Horizons out now, with later ones coming on the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X. But on the Xbox 360, there's definitely Forza Horizon 1 and Forza Horizon 2. I've picked out the first one. Really, I could have picked out any of them. They're all very good games. And yeah, we had to include a Forza on the list. And like I say, for most people, this will be, I think, a better experience than going back and playing Forza Motorsport. The only one downside to these is that they are obviously single player on a console. You can't play split screen or anything like you can in a Motorsport. So if you are wanting to pick up a more racy game where you can play with a friend or a family member, maybe go back to the Forza Motorsport. And for that one, I think Forza Motorsport 2 and Forza Motorsport 3, maybe 4, all released on the Xbox 360. But yeah, for my recommendation, and number 2 on my list is Forza Horizon. In at number 3, I have picked out the third pillar of that pillar we were just talking about, Halo, Forza, and then Gears of War. So Gears of War actually was a new IP for the 360. It didn't exist on the original Xbox. And essentially, this is the third-person shooter where you've got like a massive chainsaw attached to the front of your gun. Super gory compared to something like Halo, but also not super realistic like a Battlefield or a Call of Duty. These games took the Xbox by storm and helped propel it to the best console in that generation, at least in my opinion. You know, it outperformed the PS3 almost entirely until the last couple of years of their lives. And yeah, you can't have an Xbox 360 if you never played this game in the past. You can't have an Xbox 360 and not have a Halo game and a Gears of War game. Both brilliant games. Depends as to your taste which you prefer. For me, I've always preferred the Halo games slightly more than the Gears of War games. I prefer that first-person shooter action rather than the third-person cover. And again, there are 4 Gears of War games on the 360, so I could have picked any of them again. They're all brilliant. Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, and Gears of War Judgment. I picked number 1 just because this is what launched the series, launched the franchise, and went on to be one of the best-selling games on the Xbox 360. In at number 4, I have picked a superhero game, and this is Batman Arkham Asylum. Now, this is the first game on the list that is obviously not exclusive to Xbox. This was also out on the PlayStation 3. And in my opinion, this was, certainly for its time, the best superhero game ever made. Maybe still even to this day now. The Spider-Man games that are now out on the PS4 and PS5 are exceptional games. And I think that they learn a lot from this. They do play very, very similar. But yeah, for me, this might be even better than them. There are 3 of these games again on the 360. I think it's Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and then Arkham Knight might have actually been the Xbox One. This one is just all contained, the whole game is in Arkham Asylum. And with the second game, Arkham City, you obviously get to explore more of Gotham City and you get to venture out of the asylum. But yeah, again, I've picked the first game just because when I'm looking back at nostalgia, for me, when I was growing up, this was the one I played the most of. And this was the one that blew me away when I first started playing it. It was a similar time to when The Dark Knight came out and The Dark Knight Rises, which are, again, 2 of the best films ever made, superhero films ever made. And yeah, this is just an absolutely exceptional game. It's a bit different to the other games we've already picked in terms of shooters and driving games. And this era of superhero games, I don't think there were many that good on the 360. Like I say, we had to wait till the PS4 and the PS5 to get the Spider-Man games. There are like the Marvel's Avengers games, Captain America, Iron Man games that all came out on the 360. But none of them really live up to this. They're more games based on films, whereas the Arkham games are just pure games that were made for games. And that's why I think they are so good. So yeah, this is number 4 on the list. I would hugely recommend this. And yeah, it's a couple of pounds, I think, at CEX, so it's not an expensive game either. In at number 5, I have picked the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Now, I had to pick an RPG on the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360, in my opinion, had some of the best RPGs ever made. We had Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, 2 of the best in the series. We had the continuation of the Fable games. We had another game that I'm going to talk about very shortly. But we also got 2 Elder Scrolls games. We got Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion and we got Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. Now, whichever you prefer, they're both very, very similar games. I've picked Oblivion because Skyrim is obviously available on almost every console that's ever come out since then. So it's available on the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X. It's available on the PS3, the PS4, the PS5, the PS5 Pro, the remastered editions, the remade editions. And Oblivion did get a remake earlier this year. But the original, on the original hardware, it's still an absolutely exceptional game to go back and play. If you've played Skyrim and not played Oblivion, and you enjoyed Skyrim, you'll 100% enjoy this. It's a very, very similar game, obviously a little bit older, set in a different location, and yeah, it's brilliant. There's not too much I can say about this. It's a game that you can sink hundreds and hundreds of hours into. There are also 2 expansion packs available for this game, Knights of the Nine and the Shivering Isles. And yeah, like I said, there are so many RPGs that you could have picked for the 360, but for me, Oblivion holds a special place. In my heart, it's something I played a lot growing up. And like I say, we've already had 2 shooters, a racing game, a superhero game, so we had to pick an RPG as part of this list, and Oblivion is the one that I decided to pick. Now, the 6th and 7th games on this list are both Rockstar games, and when we've waited, 15 years for GTA 6, it's absolutely crazy that on the Xbox 360 and the PS3, we actually got 3, full Rockstar games in these 2 franchises. We got GTA 4, GTA 5, and we got Red Dead Redemption. Not to mention, we obviously got expansion packs for both of these. We got Undead Nightmare for Red Dead Redemption, and we got, I think it was the Ballad of Gay Tony for GTA 4. GTA 5 obviously then became what it became. It's the online part of it, coming out on the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X, the PS4, the PS5. A bit like Skyrim, basically. You can play it anywhere you want. So I decided to go for GTA 4. So let's talk about GTA 4 first. In my opinion, Vice City for me is the best ever. GTA 4 probably is a close second. I didn't play San Andreas too much growing up, but GTA 4 in that kind of that new era, the next gen as it were back then, Xbox 360, GTA 4 was certainly for a long time the biggest game. Really good story in my opinion. You know, some people say the story is a little bit weak. I really enjoyed the story. I think it is what makes GTA. It's a typical GTA story of going to America and, you know, living the dream. Welcome to Liberty City, living the dream, and obviously you do all the usual things that you can expect. Really cheap game today. You can't really play. This game's not been remastered or remade like GTA 5, so you can't. You know, you need, if you're going to play it, you need to play it basically. You can download it from the Xbox Store and a new Xbox. If you're going to play this game, Xbox 360 is where to play it, in my opinion. And yeah, every GTA game, I'm pretty sure, since Vice City has had like a 10 out of 10 score. So it's one of the best games ever made. You know, certainly that is true. And therefore, it's one of the best games on the Xbox 360. And it's a must-own in your collection. Moving on to Red Dead Redemption. A lot of people actually forget that this is a sequel to, I don't know if it's a sequel actually, but Red Dead Revolver was the first one. It's not the first game in the franchise. And yeah, I remember playing this game for the first time when I was at school, and it was just like mind-blowing how good this was. Most people who watch this video will already be aware of the game and have played it probably in the past. Essentially, it is GTA but set in the Wild West. I've actually got more fond memories of this than Red Dead Redemption 2. I thought Red Dead Redemption 2 was a little bit slow, specifically at the start, which I know most people acknowledge. And it does pick up the pace as you get into it, and the story is very hard. Like, the story is heavier, I think, than Red Dead Redemption 2. But for me, the first one is the better out of the two of them. And again, like we just said with GTA 4, this is one of the best games ever made, not just on the 360, and therefore it's a must-own on the 360. Like I said, there's also an expansion pack to this with the Undead Nightmare, where it's kind of like zombies. But these are both, it's a must-own game. It's a 10 out of 10 game. If you've got an Xbox 360 and you need to pick this up, it's very, very cheap. For the quality of game you're getting and the amount of hours you're getting in the game, it is very, very cheap and worth your money. Now, next up, I have picked out the Assassin's Creed 2 game. And I was having a discussion with somebody recently as to whether Assassin's Creed is the greatest game franchise of all time. Now, that's a discussion for another day. But certainly on the Xbox 360 era, like I said with so many games on this list, and I'm going to continue saying, this was the best era of Assassin's Creed, in my opinion. The franchise launch was Assassin's Creed 1. You had 2, you had 3, you had Revelations, you had Brotherhood, you had Black Flag, which to many people is one of the best ever, if not the best. And yet for me, Assassin's Creed 2 was the best ever, followed by a Black Flag in second. Again, different to the other games I've had on the list. We've had driving games, we've had shooting games, we've had superhero films. Something very different, and I'm sure most people out there have played an Assassin's Creed game, at least one, at some point in their lives. And yeah, I think it peaked around number 2, just the era it was set so well with the game. It obviously advanced the first game in a lot of areas, but for me, the story and Ezio as a character is the best character in the series history. So yeah, it's a series that, you know, you've got to have included in these kind of lists, I think, personally, especially in this era, and it's an absolutely brilliant game. Also a mid-tier game. You're not going to spend 50, 60 hours on it like you are with some of the other games we've chosen. You're not going to spend 50 or 60 hours on this game like you might with Red Dead Redemption or with Oblivion. It's going to take you 20, 25 hours for a really good story game. And yeah, for that reason, it makes it onto the list. Now, in at number 9, I have picked a Call of Duty game. Now, I always say that this generation was the golden era of first-person shooters. And that's because of the amount of competition that was out there. So we had Battlefield at its height with Battlefield Bad Company, Battlefield 2, 3. We had Call of Duty at its height with Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, World at War. We also had Halo at its height, like we've already mentioned, Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo ODST, all on this era of console as well. You still had Medal of Honor pumping out games, obviously not as good as what they were, in my opinion, on the PS2 and the earlier era. And then you had other games like Gears of War, which are not first-person shooters, but certainly are shooters and those high-octane action-style games. So I picked Call of Duty out, and I picked Black Ops. Black Ops has gone on to be, I think, Call of Duty's most successful kind of sub-franchise, probably along with Modern Warfare. And the reason I picked this one out is because I think the campaign on this one was really, really good. It had a good story, a good campaign, which not every Call of Duty has, and certainly these days are not known for. But it also had zombies. World at War was the first zombie to come out, which was good, but it was basic. And this one The zombies on Black Ops, for me, is the best zombies ever. You know, it introduced things like Pack-a-Punch, it introduced the perks, the drinks. So yeah, I had to put Call of Duty on the list just because of how big Call of Duty and FPSs were in this era, and Black Ops is the one that I have chosen. Again, this game is, I think it's like £5 or £6 over here in the UK. So really cheap to pick up, and you'll have lots of fun with this. You can also do couch co-op, which if you've got someone in the house you want to play with, is obviously a lot of fun, and really a really like big benefit and perk of having this game. And in 10th place, I have picked Dead Rising. Dead Rising, again, at the time was an exclusive on the Xbox 360. And this just, I think, kind of caps off this list of 10 games really nicely, because it is a really fun arcadey game that you can just kind of sit back to and chill. A lot of the games in this list are, or not are serious, but they require a lot of time and effort to put into. You know, things like Red Dead Redemption, you need a lot of hours to sink into that. The same with Oblivion, the same with GTA 4. This game, you can spend a lot of time on it if you want, but you can also stick it in, play it for 10 minutes and have a load of fun. You basically are running around like a mall at different locations. I think it's a mall is the one that sticks in my head the most. And you're just essentially just killing zombies. You make your own weapons. You can combine parts to make different weapons. And it's just a super fun zombie killing game. And who doesn't like that, right? That's what video games basically are made for, this kind of thing. Again, with a lot of the games on this list, because of the success of the first one, I think a Dead Rising 2 and a Dead Rising 3 both came out on the Xbox 360 as well. Any of them you could pick up today. They're all very, very cheap. I picked the first one out, again, because it started the franchise and therefore holds a little bit more weight in terms of, you know, nostalgia, me looking back at when I used to play these games growing up. So there you have it. That are the 10 essential games that I think you need to own if you've got an Xbox 360 in 2025. Now, obviously, like I said at the start of this video, there are hundreds of great games on the 360. There are over 1,000 games in total. So you probably will disagree, or there will be games that you think need to be in this list. If there are games you think need to be in an essential list, drop it in the comments below and let me know. And just remember, this is not a top 10 list or anything like that. It is just games that I think you need to own if you've got a 360. They're games that everyone should have played or should play at some point in their lives. And yeah, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe if you found this interesting. Please do drop me a like as well and a comment. Let me know that you've watched the video. As always, thanks for watching and keep gaming.